Our music.
All right.
We got
2 cameras?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. We're getting good at this thing now.
Good Monday morning.
We're almost professionals. No, I don't think we'll ever be, but
I think we're professional.
We're getting there. We're
professional, no filter.
All right. So a Monday, and can I give you some good news?
Please.
All right. So we got all the bad news all over the world.
Yeah.
So the government's working on a bill right now that's going to give first-time buyers a shot of $25,000.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's coming in, but it's kind of interesting what that's all about. Also, I want to remind everybody. So my marketing person said, don't forget. PathToProCoaching.com. Go there to get into our 5-day challenge. We're doing some training stuff for free. PathToProCoaching.com. Get on there so that you can get enrolled into what we're going to be doing.
Top corner, you can take your phone, take it out, put it on camera mode, hold it up there, and it'll take you straight to Path.
So listen to this. This is Thomas here. So here are the requirements for $25,000. It's a grant. You have to be a first-time buyer. You got to earn a little bit lower than the moderate income, and they've got it regulated by each city. It has to be a primary residence. It has to be a government-backed loan. And here's something interesting. First generation home buyer.
Oh.
What do you think that means? I'll tell you.
I do. So, well, I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do. So first time home buyers, you don't have to be a first time home buyer, literally meaning it's the first time you buy a home. If you haven't bought a home in the last 3 years, you can still qualify to be a first time home buyer. First generation first time home buyers are the ones that are truly buying their first time home is what I'm
This is what
imagining.
It said. No.
Okay. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. And I'm okay. I will say when I'm wrong.
So what they're saying to you, let's say if I had parents that bought a house, I don't qualify. I have to be the first generation home buyer in my lineage
even
family.
more. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So isn't that kind of wild?
Wait, okay. So how are they going to go back to see if your parents or your grandparents actually bought a home?
Just a good question. So you know how things are with the government.
I do.
So it's kind of weird.
Okay.
Your income cannot be more than 20% over the medium income of that area and 80% in a high cost area. So let's say New York, probably San Francisco is going to be a high cost area. So here's another thing, which is interesting. You can take that $25,000 if you show that you're a first time generation buyer, which is, I still have a question about that.
Yeah, I do too.
The bill is going to be passed hopefully this summer. So that means you could take that $25,000 and split it between down payment, closing costs, and cash to buy down the rate. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
$25,000.
So
you
is
can
it
buy
up
that
to
rate.
25 or is it 25 or none?
$25,000.
Okay.
And you could, let's say if you want to put 10 in for something and 5 in for something, you could split into all these categories, but you could buy down the rate.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that kind of cool?
So, I mean, I think that's great. I think it's great. I'm really concerned about how they're qualifying first time home buyer.
Yeah. So there's always some kind of hook to this. Now, watch this.
It doesn't really make sense to me how they can do that because, I mean, they couldn't even go off of names potentially. They can't. Like, think about adopted or anything. I mean, how are they going to do that? Maybe it's an honor system. Like,
oh, yeah.
Did your parents
That's going to work. That's going to work.
Well, there's only so much money they can give out. So there's always a limit to these. There's always a limit.
There's $175 billion towards this program. And so watch this. If you leave, you got to be in the house for 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. Now, if you leave early,
right?
First year, you owe 100% back.
Okay.
Second year, you owe 20% back.
Okay.
Oh, no, $20,000 back.
Oh, okay. So wait. First year's 100%. Second year, 20,000. So you have to pay 20,000
if you leave early.
Okay.
Third year, $15,000.
Okay.
Fourth year, $10,000.
Okay.
So shoot, I leave at 4 and 5. If you had to.
I mean, if you had to, but at the same time, and you have to stay in the house, meaning you cannot be an investor. They're not taking investors. They won't let you or allow you to rent it out or do.
No, it's personal residence.
Yep.
Only.
Airbnb, nothing like that. It has to be personal. You have to stay in there.
So I think as real estate people, we need to watch this because this could be something, understand all the requirements and get your people ready. Because if it gets passed, I'm not sure if we're going to try to get it passed in the summer and then use it in 2024. But this is to a first-time buyer that meets all these requirements. $25,000. Remember, in 2008 it was like only 7,500.
And now I have a question.
Go ahead.
What are we doing with taxes?
Wow. I don't have that in my notes, so I don't know.
I'm just hitting a button.
Okay, what's that? Okay, wait a minute. Good question. No, this is here it is.
That's what I think. That's what I hit.
Crickets. Yeah, she picks a button. Hey, choose a button, any button. Okay, so
he's in charge of that side.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really interesting. And usually I remember if you remember when the $7,500 was given years ago. So here's what happened. When it first came out, I had a lady purchase a property, one of my listings. So I'm all excited.
I forgot about that.
She took the money.
Oh, yeah.
In those days, they wrote a check to you before settlement.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And what did people do with the money before they went to closing?
They spent it.
Thank you.
They spent it so fast.
Then I get a phone call. I'm sorry, Bill, but she can't buy it. Why? The $7,500 she went and bought furniture and stuff with it.
Yeah, it's gone.
How stupid is
gone.
that? All right. So if you guys remember that, type on in, because I'm curious if you guys remember that 7,500.
I do remember that. I mean, which was crazy. And we were telling them, make sure you do not spend it. Keep it in there. You need it. Loan officers were telling them that. We knew that was going to be the case. And they still.
How stupid.
But you know what? You guys have that now with just spending, let alone giving them the money to do it. You guys have that now with cars. They go out and they want a new car. They want all these different things. And you're like, no.
Yeah. So rule number one, and we still have to remind people, do not put anything else on your credit card before closing.
Don't put anything anywhere near your actual score, no matter what.
I mean, it's
no matter what.
And then they stopped. So they figured that's not a good idea. So they went ahead and delivered it to the closing table. I guess after that was done. And then people were using it. No big deal.
Right.
Now, gosh, they went from 7,500 and now they're going to $25,000 as a grant.
But there's stipulations. I mean, there were stipulations back then, but not this tight.
Yeah.
Although I say tight by the name and what the definition is, it's probably going to be very easy to skirt around this and to spoof it. Just because I still cannot figure out how they are going to figure this out 100%, that you are a first generation home buyer. Like, how far are they going to go back to? Like, what is it that they're going to go back to? Is it just parents? Is it grandparents? Like, what are they going to go back to?
It's kind of crazy. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, but I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But then again, we're human beings and they're going to somehow circumvent this. But I think there's a problem here. So you keep an eye on this. Summer of 2023, you'll be seeing something voted on this, and that's the bill that Biden has out. Check that out. But I mean, if it works and we all could put more deals together, that'd be exciting.
And here's the thing: what happens at election if it switches? So then what? We have to think about that too. So anytime if this does come out and we get this, you need to act fast. Because you don't know. One, there's always a limit. There's always a limit to the amount of money that they're going to give out. Two, you don't know with election coming up if it'll change after this. You have to act fast. And you're hearing it now. You're one of the first people to hear about it if you haven't been keeping up with it in real estate. Because I didn't even hear about this. I heard about the bill, but I did not hear about it being first-time generation and what that definition was.
And when I looked it up,
and I'm on top of things.
Yeah, so it's kind of loose, first generation. So anyway, I mean, what they're trying to do is get more people to own. Okay. And they're going to be able to go into places where most people can't. So that will hopefully that would stir up more business for you guys.
I think it will too, for sure. And there's an income limitation, right?
Yeah. There's going to be different income in different cities. 20% of medium income in smaller, low, not as high like San Francisco, New York, all that kind of stuff. And then he said 80% of mean income in high markets. So anyway, take a look at it. You can go online and research it and get more information. I think we'll hear more about it this summer. Be ready, which means be ready means you're going to have to go out there now and work as hard as you can to get in front of as many people. And today we're going to follow up.
Yes, we have. Yes, because we left you with a cliffhanger. We have some Crestology coming your way. That's what I call it when Bill starts to feed you info. Crestology 101. And so we have that coming to you right now.
Yeah. So we briefly go back to what we did last week, just to say follow up. You must get in front of people fast, right?
Yep.
Visually.
Yep.
Okay. We said that. Okay. So let's go back to allergies are getting to me, so bear with me.
Okay.
Next week. All right. So we've got, let me just give you a little word of advice here. And I read this the other day and I really want to share this with you. The hardest thing we have to do is to grab the attention of the potential prospect and keep their attention long enough, right, to see that you understand their situation and you are the expert, so they buy from you. So the idea of follow-up is to capture their attention for long periods of time.
Yes.
So if you send them crap, you send them boring things.
Or you say crap.
Can you say crap?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not good. You're just going to bore the hell out of them. Okay. So it's got to be interesting. And so lead follow-up is like marketing. And I think they think lead follow-up is just staying in touch. Right?
You know what? I do believe that. Okay. So I do believe that they think lead follow-up is just an attempt. It's an attempt. That's what they think. They think it's an attempt, right? Am I right or wrong, guys? Type in there. Yeah. You think it's an attempt. It's just you making an attempt to, yes. You're making an attempt to follow up, but that's not proper follow-up and cannot count, by the way, as the follow-up that we're speaking about. All that is truly an attempt. It's not follow-up.
When you think about it?
Yeah.
It's another marketing scheme.
It is.
So it says here, you will attract way more clients if you offer to teach them something of value to them than selling them on you and your company.
Yeah. So what are you bringing of value, which we've said multiple times here. So more crestology. What are you bringing to value? But here's the kicker, what he said. Then what of that value that you're bringing are you teaching to your clientele? I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to give you a really quick script that is great to use. A lot of people like to send mailers and flyers and they send the same old crap, right? Crap.
Right. We did it again.
And one of the things that you can do is send out telling people, I would like to teach you how to utilize the money that you already have in your house.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So if you're sending out postcards or flyers or you're door knocking, you want to ask them, hey, do you even know if you have equity in your home? Because I want to teach you how to use that equity. That's how you're going to get potentially first time investors. That's how you're going to teach them to go and put their money to get more homes. No one's touching that market. No one's going out and teaching anybody how to use the equity properly. And hey, it might just be use the equity to upgrade your home. But at least you're building those relationships. You're teaching them how to use the equity in their home in order to invest. And if you don't know how to use the equity in your home in order to invest, then you're already behind the 8 ball. You should know that too. Yeah. And if you are a real estate agent, and this is going to hurt some people, if you're a real estate agent and you've been in real estate and you're selling homes for 2 years or more, and you do not own a home, shame on you. Shame on you, because 2 years, one, that will get your credit up to where you need to be. 2 years in the business, you should have enough money and be able to show in your bank account along with the IRS that you are able to get a loan. And if you do not, after 2 years, own your own home, shame on you. Work hard. That should be one of your very first goals, is to own your own home. Yeah,
it's important. And so what you said was really important. So you're going to teach them how to utilize their equity and have an equity. This is why I always tell people to have an equity review every 6 months with your clients. So after you sell them something, what you're going to do is say, hey, John and Susan, every 6 months, I'm going to give you an equity review to see where your position is in your equity. Now, that word position is kind of like a financial advisor conversation word. Right. What's your equity position? What would you like to do with your equity? Yeah. You know, that kind of stuff. So let me just write down.
True talk, but that hurt like hell.
Yeah. So here we got. Help your clients succeed in their business. Now, this is number 6 of the 10. So what does that mean? We're talking about lead follow-up, but now we're talking about following up with your people too, which means when you have an event, create an event that satisfies themselves, like networking event to help them with their business.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just doing something for yourself.
Absolutely.
Get them into something that will help them with their businesses. It could be, we go with the typical loan officer. I mean, come on. what could you do that will excite someone? It could be, I don't know, let's think about a vacation. Maybe someone coming in and talk about the advantages of a second home, RV. I don't know, something really wild and interesting. And again, what's really interesting also, and I put number 8, but number 7, your letters are pertaining to their interest. This is back to detailing everything towards that potential prospect or client. Don't just generically send out the same thing to everybody. You know, if you really can pinpoint that client and know that their hobby is surfing, their hobby is fishing, now we're dealing with the psychographics of that individual. It's a lot different.
And if you're not dealing with a psychological aspect, then you're truly just mass marketing. And it's okay to mass market. It's just not okay to only mass market.
Right. If once you get your database down and you separate the clients to different categories like luxury and military and first-time buyers, all that, they should get different things.
Oh, listen. So I do Flex It Friday, where I feature a small business owner every Friday. That's awesome.
I like that.
That's
idea.
Awesome. What a great idea.
Yeah.
And then other people see it and they want to be on there. This is how you build relationships. And if you help others, they're going to turn around and help you. Why would whoever they put on there for Flex It Friday, whoever the business owner is, why wouldn't they use that agent? And why in the world would they not continue to talk about and praise that agent with other people in order for them to use it? Why wouldn't they? They just help their business.
I love that, because you're separating yourself from the competition, right? We always look at the masses, right? And if you're in with the masses, you're what we call a red ocean. A blue ocean is someone separate and moving away from the norm, like Uber Eats, Ubers, Lyft, all these companies. Our business of real estate, people do not see the difference between one agent to another. And so if we're able to now
cookie cutter,
subtract ourselves from the masses and start being different. And why this is going to help you as this market is changing and as the industry is changing, you need to separate yourself from the masses. It's so important.
It's a necessity. It's not anything that we're telling you try out. It's something you have to do, or you're not going to survive in the market that we're in already, and it's getting more and more and more deep. So
yeah, and I wrote down also, you can do Zoom training.
Oh yeah,
you could get all your people together and do Zoom. Bring a speaker in on Zoom. You don't have to. They don't want to leave their house anymore.
No, they don't. And so at my office, we do everything in person on Zoom. Then we record it and we put it on our YouTube channel. There is no way possible you could ever miss anything that we have, because we do it 3 different ways. We make it possible for everybody to have that. And we already had that in place way before COVID. So it was easy for us to go into COVID. We were already prepared for that as far as our training. So you guys can definitely do it in person, then Zoom, and also record it, put it on a YouTube channel for you all to have for your people, or you can make it public. Ours is public. But it does help a lot. I like
what she said here. I put it on what she said here. I put it on all their social media platforms, and I feature everyone from the mom and pop business to the big guys. Yeah, such a cool thing.
Yeah, it increases my footprint too. Yeah, it does. Heck yeah, that's a monstrous footprint. Great job.
Separate
I love
yourself. Get away from the norm.
Kudos to you. Clap, clap, clap. Look at that. I even hit the right button that time.
I'm going to color these things for you.
I know. You have to stop it too.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Excellent. All right. Well, here's something interesting. Reason why we are doing this, because there's so many podcasts that just want to motivate you to death and everything's great and there's no real good ideas. And then, Thomasina comes from a world of information from the corporate side of it, and managing and recruiting and running an office. And I've been coaching and training for 20 some years. So we thought, hey, this would be a good idea to give you something different.
Yeah.
And listen, if you're interested in something different or you have some ideas, write it down, get to us. You could always email us.
Yeah, we're happy to talk about it. I mean, I'm telling you, this whole Flex It Friday, I love this.
Yeah, good idea.
I love it.
So let me write down that your lead follow-up can get 70% of your appointments can come from effective lead follow-up. So by you getting better at this, will help you with more appointments. Okay. So I wrote down a couple things that you want to do when you lead follow-up. What we're doing is we're creating rapport, right? We're looking for common interests. So number 1, create rapport.
Okay.
So as you have learned about them when you first met them, you're sending something to them, a personal tidbit or something you met, something funny happened to them when you first met them with the dog. I don't know what happened, but anyway, whatever that may be. Number 2, qualify their and establish their needs. So what you're doing in whatever you're sending them, you understand their pressing need and know their pain. So the pain, everybody goes through pain, as I said before last week. So you have to understand if they haven't, these are people that haven't decided to work with you yet, and you're just following up. Maybe it's a stressful time for the mom. In our marketplace, we have a lot of military wives that are left by themselves, selling their home, and their husbands are deployed or they're on ship. Yeah. So that's stressful. Did I ever tell you about the story about, oh my gosh.
What?
Quick story. So I am, I was prospecting all the time, and I'm calling a FSBO, and I said, listen, I'd like to talk to you about, your house. And anyway, she goes, well, I'm interviewing agents. Come on Monday, and I'm gonna make a decision. So I call her up. I go to the house. This is so wild. So I go there. I meet her. She's met some other agents. That's a Monday.
Okay.
She's a mother, wife, husband is big time admiral on a ship, or some big high official on the ship. He's out to sea because they have.
Did you know this previous to going?
No.
Okay.
So their specific power of attorney is right to sell the house. So I go there. She goes, yes, I'll tell you whether you get it or not. So Friday I get the call. Right. I like you. I want you to list my house.
Okay.
List the house. We sell it over the weekend. Monday, guess who comes into town? Gives me a direct call.
The Admiral.
He says, I'd like to talk to you, Mr. Crespo. I believe my wife was under duress and we could have got more money for our house. I need to speak to you right now.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yes. So yeah. Oh, dear. What is this? No, here we go. Or this. So anyway, he comes to my office in full uniform.
Oh, of course.
And my girl on the front desk goes,
of course
he does. Bill, Sergeant Major, Admiral, whatever is here at the front desk.
Yeah.
And he's here to see you. I go, okay. And he's in full uniform. Oh, okay. So we go to conference room. Mr. Crespo, you took advantage of my wife.
That's always a good thing to hear.
Yeah, it's always
especially from an admiral in uniform.
I had, that one a week before, I totaled up all those little $100 that you took to put a deal together, and he totaled them all up. It was like 10,000. And I'm going, I'm tired of people taking my money from me. So the guy goes, we could have got more money. I said, sir. I met with her on a Monday. She was interviewing some other people, sir. And now watch this. I'm watching. I went.
I'm seeing how you're going to get out of this hole.
Yeah. So now I go. I don't think the problem, sir, is with me. I think the problem is with you and your wife.
And he said,
not much. Yeah, just like that. It was crickets. And he says, well, you know what he wants.
Oh, yeah. He wants money back.
He wants money on the commission.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry, sir. I did what I had to do. And I wasn't going to, there's a time when you have to stand up for your money, guys.
There is a time.
You can't let people
it's all the time.
over you.
It's all the time, by the way. There is a time, and it's all the time. You deserve every penny that you get.
I mean, we're giving money away, and then you guys are wondering why you don't have enough money.
Yeah.
So what we wanted, so I just said, sir, I'm not doing anything. I'm sorry, but you feel this way. But she had the opportunity to interview other people. I did my job, and we got what we needed. So thank you, and
thank you for your time.
See you later.
And thank you for your service.
And that was it. So what I'm saying to you is that if you are seen as an expert, high influence, high authority person, you have to stand up for what you're worth.
Yeah. And
you can't let people roll over.
And let me tell you this. You ready? If you're not worth the money, that's on you.
Yeah. Ooh.
Make sure you're worth it.
I feel like diamond and silk.
Whoa, I know. I am spunky today. Usually it's you.
Yeah, I know.
Today it's me.
Yeah. So, okay. So we said qualify, establish a need. Number 3, build value. What you can do that meets their needs. What are you going to do for them that builds their...
And that's different with each one. You have to figure that out. And you do that by asking the questions. We talked about that last week. So if you were missing last week, please go back, and it's on there. It's still there. Even though the first half may not have had volume, I fixed it.
The first half was in, we were using sign language. Number 4 is create desire. Now, here's where we have the problem. We need to put curiosity bombs. You don't give them everything. You leave a little bit behind. So it's almost like a cliffhanger. And when we meet, I like to share with you my Seller Advantage program, or I like to share with you my Buyer Advantage program. Something with a name to it. You cannot
Yes.
say, I'd like to interview for the job of being your, my phone's going off, your seller's agent or your buyer's agent. I like to share with you my buyer advantage part. You can call it whatever you want, but once you give it to a name, what happens? It puts value to it.
I am going to use your own method on yourself.
What's that?
Okay, so Bill has always told me that we don't say my, which he just did. Mm-hmm. And so he's always said that you have to customize it to the person, right? And so at that point, I think with my training from you, that I would actually tell them, instead of saying my buyer, I might say the buyer that, or the buyer, what did
advantage
you say?
Program.
The buyer advantage program that suits your needs the most.
Well,
what do you think, Bill?
Yes and no.
Okay, here we go.
This is an established program that has the fundamentals to meet their needs. Yes, but it is a buyer advantage program, seller advantage program, or whatever you want to call it. People gravitate to solutions, which is part of what you're saying.
Okay. I love it, because I'll get him down. I can get him down the rabbit hole too. You all know that he puts me down the rabbit hole, but I can get him down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah. So close, but no cigar. Okay. Number 5, overcome objections, concerns, how you can provide peace of mind. See, people want peace of mind. That's the heart of everything we do in this business.
So true.
Right? They just want to know that you can hold their hand and take them through the process.
And they better feel it. So even though you're saying it, you can tell when someone has peace of mind. They relax.
Yeah.
They're so much more happy when they're talking to them. Know those cues. Because you could tell them what peace of mind they have, but if they're going, okay, you can tell it's a friend. You can tell it's a friend.
Yeah. So you're once you see their body language relax. But if it doesn't, don't keep going. I mean, just address it. One of my mentors years ago says, what the patient brings to the table is not always the problem. No. It's something deeper.
It's true.
Okay. Last, close for the next step. So always have a next step with someone, a meeting, a call. Never let it hang and let them come back and call you. Always have a next step.
Which is how your follow-up becomes more than an attempt.
Yeah. And outline your steps with them. Even let them know, hey, when you decide to work with me, here's what we're going to do. We'll do this, we'll do this, and we'll do this. So they know ahead of time your future pacing them, but you're also giving them, so there's no fear. If I work with Bill, we meet for about half an hour. We're running to show houses way too fast.
Now, we do have a question on this one. So on this side.
Yes.
And I did do this, but I want to hear your opinion on this.
All right.
Did you ever prepare them for future people calling, such as other agents, so that they had the script to make sure the other agents didn't come in and cut in on your commission? Okay. So I think what they're saying is a script for the seller or the buyer for other agents that call in. What, did you have something for them to say so that they didn't get caught up in another conversation with another agent?
There's two views of this. If your impression that you give them is so different than anybody else's, you'll never have a problem with that, because the way you handle them, those people make you look really good.
Yeah.
So sometimes you invite these numbnuts to make the call to separate yourself from the competition. I think that if they are leaning towards working with you, you need to let them know that if they're expired, something like that, they're going to get a lot of calls. Just tell them that you're working with Bill Crespo, and that will stop them.
And that's quick. What I did too. And I always had them, most of the time we even had them sign a listing agreement, even if it was dated for a future date. But we always said, just let them know that you're already represented.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I believe that 50% of the agents out there should be gone because they're really messing it up.
No filter.
Yeah.
There he is.
They
There's
need to be
Bill.
gone. No part-timers. Get out of the business, because these people that want to make a living full-time, and this is not a part-time business, this is a full-time business. This business can get you as much money as a first-year dentist can, or doctor in the business. I mean, they got a lot of bills to pay, and I think we're treating it as a hobby. This provided my family with 6 kids a lot. But it was a lot of work, and it can still, no matter what the market is, we have to change our approach so that let them go. That's right. 100% let them go. I like that.
Yeah. And it's true, because I will tell you, when I talk to agents and I say, why are you in the business? How did you get into the business? Or what? Yes. Or I just felt that, I felt that
and couches.
Real estate interested me. No one says, and I'm not going to say no one. It's about 80% of them say that. Then the other 20% say, I wanted a career in real estate. And that's a very different mindset. Are you interested in real estate, or do you want a career in real estate? There is two different paths for that.
Yeah, I want to be a part-time surgeon. So, I mean,
I'm interested in medical field.
Yeah, medical field. So I'm going to have
That's
the
cool.
time. And then the other time I'll have a newspaper route.
But doctors aren't just interested in the medical field. They want a career in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, but if you take this on as a hobby, this is why it's so important. Get to mypathtoprocoaching.com, get enrolled into the 5-day challenge that we're going to have coming up real soon. And yes, I am exposing myself to you all so that you have someone telling you the truth and stop motivating you to poverty.
Yes. He's exposing himself, but it's still PG.
Yes, it's still PG. So, and then making sure that we are understanding that there's a high level of soft skills you need in a changing market, high level of soft skills, how you talk to people, what to say. So make sure your follow-up now has a purpose. And just to recap, we create various types of material that has psychographics to it. Look up what psychographics is. That way you know that you are separating yourself from the competition. You become a blue ocean, not someone in a red ocean, which is like everybody else.
So they said there are also different circumstances. Some of us part-timers do pretty damn good. Yeah. You want to know why? Because you're not doing it part-time. You're doing two full times.
This is so much BS. Whoever said that.
You are seriously not doing it part-time. I promise you, you're not doing it part-time. You are kicking tail because you put the hours in.
No one is. If he's doing well at part-time, then he should go in full-time and cut the crap. Okay. Because what's happening here is that and let me just say one more thing that's going to piss off some people. Without doing 24 deals a year, you're not in enough deals to understand the changes in the marketplace. So you become a liability to the company and to yourself. So by doing 6 deals a year or 8 deals, you're going to feel good about it, but you're not in it enough to be able. It's like saying, I want to be a surgeon, but I'll do 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there are exceptions to every rule, but in real estate, this has been going on for the longest time. We need to go into this job and make it a full-time profession where it has beginning and end. Like you don't have to work 24/7. You work and establish your credibility, and they'll stick with you.
Yeah. Penny said, Penny, you saved my tail last week. I love you so much. So Penny said, choosing truth. Yes, that's refreshing. Somebody else said that they are working with somebody who's been in the business for 27 years. And hey, listen, they're typing no filter, so I'm reading no filter.
Yeah, this is great. This is great.
27 years in this, they're totally clueless, not the person, but the person in for 27 years. They are doing all the heavy lifting in this deal as the buyer's agent, and it's a bankruptcy case. Let me tell you something. Years in the business does not mean you are a professional, does not mean you are an expert, and does not mean that you are doing it correctly.
Even a broker's license.
Even a broker's license.
I'm sorry.
Even a broker's license. No.
Yeah.
Yes, even a broker, and I have a broker's license, but even a broker's license, it doesn't matter what that title or years is unless you back it up with knowledge and professionalism. Yeah.
I mean, it is. Listen, I put a contract on a house and I had a line of credit. A line of credit is basically cash. The lady.
Preach. There we go. I was like, are you calling us a peach? That's so sweet. Preach. They said preach. I said, thank you.
Peach. You're just a peach.
I'm just a peach.
So I put a contract on with a line of credit to this lady who's been in business for 150 years. And she says to me, I'm sorry, I can't accept your contract.
150.
All right, maybe 20. But anyway, she says, you could only buy a house with a mortgage. I lost to this day. This happened 30-some years ago. I'm still upset with it. She didn't take my offer. I had a letter from the bank, a line of credit, ready to go. She didn't take it. So for you new people that want to take this on full time, you probably know more than a lot of people have been in the business even longer because as long as you're studying, take this on as a full-time profession, get up early, work set hours every day, and be consistent. You will make it through any market change.
And we're going to wrap it. We're going over a little bit only because we had a lot of people in here talking. We love it. True talk. You got to care for the people. That is so true. And the person out there who's doing that buyer's agent deal and you're carrying that other person who's been there for 27 years, go freaking get them. You're killing it. Great job, guys. We will talk to you.
Thanks, Penny.
Next Monday. Penny, thanks for shining. I mean, you literally shine every time you come in.
We got to make our co-host.
Yes, we do. We need to bring her on. Penny, we're going to talk to you about that. All right, guys. See ya.
Got my head over water for the first time in years. Got my feet crossed the border from a land of tears. Ain't no way I'm going back under. Got my eyes in the wild blue yonder. Will lights be on the horizon? Let's go find